What if I told ya there's one number that can pretty much change your financial life forever? And no, it's not a million or even $500,000. It's $100,000. Now, getting there is tough, no doubt about it, but it's probably the single most important milestone on your journey to building wealth. So let's break down exactly why.
Yeah, the legendary investor Charlie Munger, he put it best. He basically said that getting to your first 100 grand is a brutal grind. I mean, it's hard, but once you're there, something kind of magical happens. The whole game just changes.
So let's meet Peter. He's 28, got a pretty good job, and, for the last 5 years, he's been trying to do everything right with his money. He's managed to save up about $15,000, which is great, but he just feels like he's on a hamster wheel. You know the feeling? Every single month he saves, but that number, it just doesn't seem to grow. Sound familiar? I think this is a feeling a lot of us can relate to.
Peter's stuck in what I like to call the savings trap. It's that super frustrating place where you're doing all the right things, right? You're budgeting, you're cutting back, you're saving, but you're just not seeing that explosive growth you hear everyone talking about. And honestly, this is where so many people get discouraged and just give up.
So why is it so hard to hit that first 100,000? Look, it's not just you. There are 3 major hurdles that pretty much everyone faces. Let's get into them. Okay, so we're talking about 3 things here. First, there's the mental game, the psychological part. Then you've got the actual math of how your money grows in the early days. And finally, there's the simple reality of your income when you're just starting your career. Let's dive into each one of those.
All right, first up, the psychological hurdle. We are just wired for instant gratification. I mean, think about it. You can get a pizza delivered in 30 minutes, right? But building wealth? That's a slow burn. In the beginning, you feel like you barely see any progress at all. You are constantly choosing a better, far-off future over something fun right now. And that mental battle, that's what derails most people.
Next, let's talk about the math. I call this the contribution dominance phase. And what that means is, in the early days, almost all of your growth comes from your own savings, your hard work. You might save, say, $1,000, and your investments, they might only kick in an extra $50. You're doing all the heavy lifting. Compound interest is there, sure, but it's a very, very quiet partner at this stage.
And finally, let's just be real about the income barrier. The reality is, when you're starting out, you're probably not making a ton of money. And with the cost of everything going up, trying to save a significant chunk each month can feel almost impossible. It's just a tough numbers game, plain and simple.
But, and this is a huge but, here's the good news. If you can just push through those barriers and hit that $100,000 mark, everything changes. You've reached the turning point. Think of it like a rocket achieving escape velocity. You're finally breaking free from financial gravity. That little snowball you've been packing by hand, it finally starts to roll downhill on its own.
This slide right here really shows the power of what we're talking about. Let's say you invest $10,000 a year and you get a pretty standard 7% return. Okay, your first 100 grand, it's going to take you about 8 years, a long time. But look what happens next. The second one, 100,000, takes just over 5 years. The third, less than 4. And the fourth, only 3 years. The time it takes to add another 100 grand just keeps shrinking and shrinking. This is where compound interest goes from being a little whisper to an absolute roar. So what does $100,000 actually get you? Well, with a 7% return, that's an extra $7,000 a year. Let's break that down. That's over $580 a month every single month that you didn't have to lift a finger for. That could be your car payment. It could be a huge chunk of your rent, or maybe your entire grocery bill, just covered. Passively.
And this is where the real magic happens. For the very first time, your money can actually start to out-earn you. That $583, it gets reinvested. And the next month, you're earning even more. The wealth building machine is now up and running, and your only job is to just keep fueling it.
Okay, so you get the why. I think that's pretty clear. Now let's talk about the how, because reaching your first 100,000 isn't about luck, not at all. It's about having a plan and sticking to it.
So here's a simple framework you can follow. First, gain control. You have to master your finances with a budget. You need to know where every single dollar is going. Second, root investments. Start investing early and put it on autopilot in low-cost index funds. Third, optimize tax.
Use tax-advantaged accounts, think 401ks, Roth IRAs, to keep more of your money. Fourth, weed out debt. Attack that high-interest debt. It is the absolute enemy of building wealth. Fifth, tap into income. Always be looking for ways to increase your earning power, whether it's raises or side hustles. And finally, number 6, heighten discipline. This is all about building that mental muscle to stay consistent for the long haul. Honestly, this might be the most important part of the whole plan.
You know, hitting that $100,000 mark, it isn't the finish line. Not even close. It's really the beginning of a whole new journey. It completely changes your relationship with money and puts you on the fast track to real financial freedom. So let's just recap that transformation. On the math side, compound interest finally becomes a major force, and it starts accelerating your wealth. Psychologically, you've proven to yourself that you can do it. You've built these incredible habits of patience and discipline. And practically speaking, you just have more options. You have a safety net. You can start making choices based on what you want to do, not just what you have to do to pay the bills. That's huge. Look, getting to your first $100,000 takes hard work, and yeah, some sacrifice. But it is so, so worth it. It is the launchpad for a lifetime of financial freedom. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do today to start?